Yeah. What I tell people is I'm Gary Niki from Washington, D.C., retired from National Disaster Emergency Management and Public Safety. I still own my own Arizona private investigation agency license that I got January 8th of 1990. So yes, it's hard to believe it's been 31 years. After 9/11, I went to New York as a trainer for Red Cross. I was a disaster manager from 96 through 2002 when I moved here. And so I was a trainer, was at Ground Zero, was at all kinds of places, met and worked with a whole bunch of really awesome, neat folks. And that's how I kind of got here to the DC area, because they say, watch what you ask for. Have you ever heard that? Raise your hand if you've heard that, right? In my book, D.I.Y. Zen and the Art of Gentle Emotional Transformation, I've got a part in here that talks about how thoughts are powerful. Your thoughts and what you say are powerful. I was riding on the subway and I got a card from the guy who was the quote unquote function lead at national headquarters for it was called Weapons of Mass Destruction Terrorism Program. But they were just developing safety and security as of September 11th and a half. So they said, oh my God, we need safety and security people. What do we do? And so this guy was the head of it. And so he gave me his card. I looked at that and was riding on the subway, because we traveled in New York on the subways and stuff. And I remember seeing the dirty floor of the subway, it's shaking and everything. And I said, that's the job I want. One year to the month, I was here. They asked me in March if I was interested in coming to work. My boss, Carol Hall, she said, when are you gonna come work for me? It's like, I don't know anybody in DC, not really. I'm here in a big 50 chapter in Phoenix, Arizona. I got 1,700 volunteers. I'm volunteer resource manager for Disaster International Armed Forces Emergency Services, and have all these huge areas: training, preparedness, community disaster education. We go out on disasters, have fun. It's like, I wear jeans and a polo shirt and tennis shoes. I said, that sounds like a suit and tie job. It's like, So I said no 3 times. And then in August, they flew me here. I did a hard sell, and I finally said, yes. And I was scared. I was frightened. So I landed at Reagan October 22nd with 2 suitcases, 2 laptops. They shipped my truck and all my stuff out here. I became the head of safety, security, weapons of mass destruction, terrorism for the United States and the territories for National Red Cross, and then was the liaison with the Federal Emergency Management Agency for safety, security, and terrorism, and things like that. Worked with all kinds of different alphabet soup, different agencies, Homeland Security, and all that. And so you never know where you're going to end up. I was already an instructor for the Federal Emergency Management Agency and part of state emergency management and all that, but it didn't tie in until after 9/11. And here I am. So now I'm retired, and I'm the Shamanic Samurai Medicine Man, and I'm rebranding to be the D.I.Y. Zen guy. Since 2005, I've been a anger management facilitator for the courts. So I've had people from, I teach the class in Alexandria, haven't been able to do it because of COVID, because it's in-person classes. It's hard to believe, it's what, 16 years now that I've been doing that. So I would do that with all of the disaster stuff and everything. So I've always kind of done a lot of interesting things. The first modality that I ever learned was called Jinshin Jitsu, because my ex-in-laws and my ex-wife, they were practitioners under Mary Brewmeister, who was just a couple miles from my mom's house. So anyway, they worked on me, and it's like energy work. Oh my God, I felt that. And so ever since then, I've always been into some sort of energy work. So the reason I'm telling you all of that is because in your backgrounds, look at your background. What do you do? I know some of you are feds and some of you are, professionals and corporate people and all that. But the one thing that I've always learned to ask when I was recruiting for Red Cross, I would say, tell me something about you that's interesting in your background that you do that we wouldn't know. And I did that at a class in Mesa. And it was interesting because we had Mennonite disaster service people, we had corporate people, we had professionals, we had firefighters, we had all kinds of people. There was a massage therapist, 2 Reiki practitioners. There were people that were into energy work, different other modalities that I didn't hear about and everything. And you know what? It was interesting because I said, think of that when you're doing your work with Red Cross, because you're going to be able to help people. The love, blessing, good energy, people could feel that, right? Have you ever gone into a room and all of a sudden it's like, what happened, right? Think about that. Somebody's in pain, they're suffering, something's going on. And then how many times have you gone into a room and it's like, wow, how cool. With a lot of my friends and colleagues here, go into the room and see them. It's like, oh my God, hi. It's like, I want to be here. And so think about that, because our energy is affected by what we think, say, feel, and do. That is so huge, and it makes a huge difference. So in 1996, I went to a class called Holographic Repatterning with a lady named Virginia Dunstone. I wrote about her in my book. And she taught us muscle testing. Well, I had learned muscle testing in martial arts as a kid, and I was always fascinated because the little Japanese sensei, he took the biggest guy in the class, which was a huge black guy, 6'5" Marine, he could say, hold out your arm, and he could literally hang from his arm and dangle his feet and do a pull-up on the guy's arm. He was so strong. And then all he did was he just went, eat like this, and then the arm went down. It's like, what? And then he just goes, yeah, like that, and the arm's strong. 9 years old, do you think that, what was that? And then he comes around, he's like, bringing people up here, and he tests us, and then he's like, maybe. Wow. So that always made an impression on me. I'm 59 years old. And so that was 50 years ago, and it still makes me think about it. So in the anger management program, on week 4 of 5 weeks, I cheat. I use my techniques with them. And I teach them about 2 simple techniques. One of them is called put your fingers on your forehead. The other one is the energetic action process. And it goes along with the 33-day workbook that's in the book. And then I show them muscle testing. And these are folks that have never heard anything spiritual, didn't want to know anything. In fact, guess what? They're on probation. They've been adjudicated. They have to come to anger management class. Do you think they're happy? What do you think, huh? Wrong answer. They come in like this, and then they see me. Yoda tie sometimes Jerry Garcia, or 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. I would wear all these ties to the big Homeland Security meetings and FEMA meetings and stuff. I figured, got to do that. I did have much shorter hair back then. But, you got to have some fun. And they look at me and they go, are you Mr. Gary? It's like, yeah. And they're like, is this anger management class? Sure is. Come on in. They're like, oh, well, you're not what I expected. I said, really? And they said, well, you sounded normal on the phone. Well, I don't know who that is, but it's not me. So what I want you to think about is what happens, because the theme here is what raising Lifting each other higher. You know, I looked at it on my phone to make sure. Lifting each other higher. So can we lift people up with a good spirit?
Yes.
Sure we can. Can we bring them down with a negative spirit and sad energy?
Yes.
Just like that. It's amazing. And so muscle testing is so powerful because what happens is when we're able to demonstrate through muscle testing, we know right away if something makes us strong or weak. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, well, that's all complicated. So it's not. It's really not. How many people have muscle tested before? Let's see. Wow, let me ask you this. Who has not? Wow, a couple. Amazing. So this whole group, everybody's muscle tested. You know, what's interesting to me is how powerful it is. It's something that shows you from the inside out what is strong for me and what is weak for me. There's a whole bunch of different techniques with muscle testing. And Dr. Brad Nelson, who is my motion code teacher, he's really amazing. And he talks about muscle testing. And he said that as good as he is now, decades later, when he first became a chiropractor, he had to practice for weeks to be able to get it because he wasn't quite sure. But now he does it so simply. But it's something that if you practice it, anybody could do it. There's a number of different ways, and we'll talk about that. So here's the thing. Have you ever had a loved one that had anxiety, stress, or something bad happen to them? Raise your hand if you know some. Okay? Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I grew up in Paradise Valley, Arizona, and I'm 3/4 Japanese, 1/4 Mexican. And so I was the only Japanese kid in Paradise Valley School District until my sister started first grade when I was in third. And it was, hey, Jap, remember Pearl Harbor? So I got beat up and peed on, and I was totally scared and stuff like that. But here's the thing. I would have loved to have had the techniques in this book. If somebody would have told me that you could do one simple thing and help yourself or help a friend, would it be worth it to learn it?
Yeah.
If it takes you 5 minutes to practice it, would you do it?
Yeah.
Well, of course. You know, instead of crying and sucking my thumb, hiding in the closet with my tiger, here's a little version of Big Tig. These guys here are power animals, the representation of my shamanic power animals and friends that work on shamanic journeys. But tiger, I'm year of the tiger. So next year I'll be 60 and it'll be water tiger in the Oriental zodiac. So instead of crying, sucking my thumb, hiding in the closet because I couldn't do anything about it, I would have loved to have these simple techniques. So if you know somebody who has been stressed out, upset, angry, has anxiety for anything, it's something that could help them very quickly. Now, after I learned this in 1996, the first time that I was able to use it was at a multiple car crash. So I pull up and there's multiple vehicles and everybody's out on the curb, you know, and they're looking at the cars and stuff like that. And so this one lady was sitting there in this car and they tried to get her out, they couldn't get her out. So I went over, I said, excuse me, ma'am. I said, are you okay? And she looks at me and she says, you ever see that? Some of you have seen that, right? And I said, okay, are you bleeding? Are you hurt? Are you anything? And she's like, no. And I said, okay, can you step out of the car? So she gets out of the car. I said, okay, why don't you sit right here on the curb? It's okay to cry. Put your fingers on your forehead or put your palms on your forehead. It's okay to cry. I got to deal with traffic and help is on the way. We're going to have some ambos here, fires on their way. We're going to get some tow trucks. We'll take care of all you. Just sit right here on the curb. So, so I'm watching her. Yeah, I'm directing traffic, you know, and I'm kind of keeping an eye, and she's About 5 minutes later, she stops. And she's sitting there looking around. So she just sat there. Some deputies showed up and I said, going to take over traffic. So I go over and I said, what happened? And she goes, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And she goes, what in the world happened? I said, that's okay. Are you okay to talk to our accident investigator? And she goes, yeah. So take her to the accident investigator. And she goes, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And she stops and she turns around and she looks at me and she goes, and I just go. So she finishes with him and then she comes back over. By then there's tow trucks and everything and they're cleaning up and stuff. And she goes, what is that? I didn't have time to talk to her. I said, it's just an Oriental thing. And she goes, oh, because I could get away with it, right? You know, and so she starts to turn and go away. And then she goes, wait a minute. Can I ask you something else? And I said, sure. She said, will it work on other things? Ding, ding, ding. And I look at her, I said, it certainly has for me. And she's like, thank you. And she sat on a bus bench waiting for her family or friends to come get her and for the tow truck to get her vehicle hooked up. And I watched her about 5 or 6 different times. She put her fingers on her forehead. And then by the time she was done and they hooked up her vehicle, she's like, thank you, bye. It's like, wait a minute, aren't you the one your car was almost total? I thought, I have to remember this. So I started using it on continued using it on myself, started showing it to all my friends and colleagues and anybody who will listen. Let me show you this thing. So the muscle testing is cool, but check this out. And so what I realized is that people that are in trauma, boom, it's something that's available and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You got all the equipment right here. You know, in fact, over the years, I've talked to people about it. They said, well, I don't know what to do. I said, really? Here, just put your fingers on your forehead and play it through. The analogy that I use is play and record on a VCR. How many people know what a VCR, video recording, right? The little cassettes like this. Actually, my wedding in 1982 was on the Beta, and then those are long gone. And thank goodness, you know, but anyway, the bigger ones, the VHS ones, right? And so here we are, you know, you put a little piece of tape over the little thing right there. Look at a few of you are nodding, yeah, okay, my arrow, right? And you put it in and push play and record. And that's what I think of this is. What it does is it erases stuff. It erases the negative things or the fear, the hurt, whatever. And I've used it on thousands of people over the years. And it's amazing how quickly it works. Everything from being afraid of driving or going here or taking tests at college or, you know, whatever. I've done it on all kinds of people. But one of the coolest things was at a Federal Emergency Management Instructor School. All of us were going for certification. So some of us had a lot of experience training and doing things. Others were newer and some were brand new. And there was a lady there and she was so scared. She was tall and really skinny. And we had a bigger lectern than this one over here. You know, it was big, solid. It took a lot to move it. And so she was so scared, she's holding on to that thing and the whole thing's shaking. You know, it's like, wow, that's really something. And then, so we taught her all the tricks, you know, put a notepad behind it. And, you know, it's like that. So everything. And on the end of the first day, the instructors had said, if you can't get it together, you may not pass this class. Do you think that puts stress on you? Right? Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, I have to. I work for the head of an emergency management agency. I have to introduce and give talks and stuff like that, but I'm scared. And they're like, well, you're going to have to be able to do it. So I talked to her, I pulled her aside at a break and I said, do you really want to speak? Do you really want to pass this class? And she's like, oh God, I have to. I'm a single mom, got 2 kids. I need this job. I have to be able to do this. I said, I'll tell you what, if you could just give me like 10 to 15 minutes, but you got to be full out on this break, I'll help you. And so we did. We found out what are the things that are affecting her. What are you afraid of? Well, I'm scared. Okay. You feel fear? Yeah. I'm embarrassed. I feel shame. I don't know what I'm talking about. A list of things. So muscle test them real quick. Okay. Yeah. That's it. No, not that. Yes, this. Okay. And so I said, okay, now we found it. Now I want you to imagine all of that stuff as real as you could possibly feel right now. And put your fingers on your forehead and let it rip. And she did. She's crying quietly. Doing the cry. 3 times through. First time, second time, third time. By the third time, because when I said, okay, what number are you at with the fear? She says a 10, 0 to 10. 10, I said, she was a 10. After the first time through, she was down to a 5. Second time through, she was down to a 1. Third time through, she was free of it, strong for it. I said, now think about speaking in public. Strong, she's like, push on my other arm. Okay. She's like, wow. And then we did the energetic action process. I call it hand clapping or hand drumming. And then we did a few statements and cleared those out. And then I taught her a statement to use and just like with the muscle testing, when she's in front of the group. Have you ever watched speakers? Some people will stand behind the lectern, they won't move. Some people are like, I'm kind of like my friends would say, I'm the Japanese, Mexican, Italian guy, because I move around and everything. And, I'm not shy or anything like that. And, I speak with my hands. So my Italian friends go, hey, you one of us. It's like, hey, bruh, and so the thing is, I said, think about what you're doing, because she kept going, well, I don't know about this. I don't know. What's happening when you're doing this? She's zipping herself down. And she's like, are you kidding me? I said, now, use upward hand gestures. She goes, I'll look dumb that way. I said, really? You think so? I said, how can you do it and not look dumb? Well, what do you think over there? Back there? Over here? What do you think? Any ideas? Wow, wasn't that amazing? And she's like, I could do that. And so we came back, and the instructor said, we want somebody to get up here and do a little impromptu talk. Here's a little thing. And she's like, I want to go. Everybody's like, oh, no. And they're like, no, you don't have to go first. Let's have an experienced instructor come up there first. And she's like, I'm up here. And I'm like, oh God. So I'm in the back, and I'm just kind of down like this. And so she's like a different person. She's smiling and she's like, hi, we're glad you're here. She's using the hand. Well, what do you think? Anybody over here? And she's doing the upward zipping up and everything. And she's speaking, she's shaking a little bit. And I told her, hey, I'm nervous too. And she's like, look at it. I feel it right here in the back of my leg, nervous. I said, otherwise you may not be any good if you're too cocky, you want to be good, everybody's nervous. It's okay. And she's talking and everything's smiling. And she's like, any questions? Anybody have a question? And I'm watching the 2 instructor trainers over here like this. I'm like, oh my God. Because they're like, what's going on? So then she finishes and it's like, oh my God, we all give her a standing ovation. And she's like, and they said, we gotta ask you what went well, what would you do different, and what could you change? And she's like, I made it through. And they said, what did you do? Either did you take something like meds or something like that, or did you? This was in the 90s, so you know you could say that probably back then. But they said, what happened to you? Either you were sandbagging, or something happened. And she goes, Gary cleared me out. Oh, no, she's fine. She did a great job. And they're like, mister, get up here. They said, what happened? And I said, you know, it's a technique that I learned and I've been modifying it. And I've been working with people, clients, folks, everything. And she wanted some help, so I helped her. And they said, well, demonstrate it for us. I said, no, I'm not willing to do it unless everybody in the class participates. And she goes, who wants to participate? Every hand went up. So I'm like, okay, really? So then I got us all in a big circle, had them stand up, did the muscle testing, showed them how it goes. Blown away. Everybody was blown away by it. What it is, it's something so simple that you could do and share to lift yourself up and to lift up your family, friends, loved ones, colleagues to help you. So I'd like to demonstrate a little piece on muscle testing. Could I have somebody volunteer to come up here with me? Would anybody volunteer to come up? Please, come on up. I don't bite too much. And what's your name?
Natalia.
Natalia, thank you, Natalia, I'm here. Okay, so stand up right here. So Natalia, just push your arm to the sky, please. Oh, wow, she's strong. Feel that? Okay, so all I'm gonna do is just go like this. Now push up. Wow, you feel it?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, I don't know what you did.
Oh, show me some strength. Wow, look at that. Okay, so now just push up. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
Isn't that mind-blowing? Even when you know about muscle testing, it's amazing how this works, isn't it?
Yeah.
So say my name is Natalia.
My name is Natalia.
Push up. See how strong that is?
Yeah.
Say my name is Betty.
My name is Betty.
Say I am male.
I am male.
I'm female.
I am female.
See how strong that is? Say yes.
Yes.
No.
No. Oh my God.
Isn't that amazing? Now you see what happened was, what I was doing was, I just did the little unzip, kind of cheated like Sensei did, because he just went to the guy like, and that was mind-blowing, because he just went like that to him. All of a sudden, where's all the strength, right? And then he just goes like that. Push up. Wow, feel that?
That's so
And of course, when you're 9 years old, you're going, whoa, what is that? Then they do it on you, even more powerful. But isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Hold on a second, we're not done yet. So push up, strong. Look at that. Look how strong she is. Now see, this is what I'm doing. I'm unzipping her. So Dr. Brad talks about zipping somebody down. So basically you're just zipping her down like that. Push up real hard. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's gone, right?
Yeah.
And then we just zip her up. Zzz, push up. See that? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It is. So watch this. Who would volunteer to think something? You don't have to say anything. You just have to think it. Who volunteer? Yeah, go ahead, Scott. So I want you to think this. I just want you to think a negative thought. Okay? You got it? Yeah. Okay. So before we go to the negative thought, let's clear. So my name is Natalia.
My name is
Push
Natalia.
up. I'm male.
I am male.
Okay. So Natalia Strong, push up.
Natalia Strong.
Okay. So Scott, think your thought. Got it? Push up real hard as you can. Keep your arms there. Keep your arms there. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Wow. Now, somebody on this side, who volunteered to think something? Yes, a positive thought. Think of a positive, wonderful thought. Got it? Push up. Say, I'm male.
I am male.
A positive thought. Push up. Isn't that amazing? You know what's really amazing is that it happens whether you're aware of it or not. So what I do with the anger management class, I tell the volunteer to turn around so they can't see me. Now team, we're the team. When I do this, everybody see this? I want you to think, I love you, God bless you, you're beautiful. Is that clear for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, when I do this, I want you to think, I hate you, you suck, die. Okay, now, no faces. I don't want you to go, when I go like this, I don't want you to go, and when I do this, no, you just, this is, I love you, God bless you, you're beautiful. This one is, I hate you, you suck, die. Is that clear for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's clear? Okay, turn around to tell you. All right, so let's, clear? All right, my name is Natalia.
My name is
Push
Natalia.
up. My name is Betty.
My name is Betty.
Okay, so we're good. So team. Okay, push up. Feel that?
Mhm.
Okay. Let's try another one. Team. Push up. Okay, team. Push up. Push. Wow. Now let me ask you something. Could you feel something in the two different ones?
Like just in the room?
Yeah.
The last one just felt a little bit, like it
Yeah.
just felt a little,
Snarky, right?
yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, well, that was them, not me. And wrong answer. I'm part of it too. No, the thing is, what happened was I told them, so it's clear. Push up. Okay, so team, push up. Okay, team, push up. Feel how the energy's
Yeah.
going? So when I did this, push up. I love you, God bless you, you're beautiful. Let's see. This is I hate you, you suck, die. Can you feel the energy just drain out of you?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And so I want you to think about this because what's happening, so see how she's weakened like this? Now, could it be anything? Let's clear her. Push up. All right. So since we're all Beltway folks and we understand 495 and I-66, right? Yeah. Been there, done that. Drove into DC for a decade, going to work every day. You know, carpool and stuff like that. So, and then on the subway and everything. So what happens when we're like, oh my goodness, idiot driver. Oh, what a jerk. Isn't that amazing? My name is Natalia.
My name is Natalia.
Okay. Oh, stupid boss, idiot colleague. I'm female.
I am female.
Upset with a spouse, partner, something. Isn't that amazing? Because we do it to ourselves. I had a lady in my class, she was probably 30 or so, got arrested because of some lady, she got into it at work. and they were friends, and then she got into it, slapped the lady and everything. So she was, she would think about this lady as a skanky C and a useless B. There were 18 people in the class, 6 females, 10 males. What? Yeah, let's see, 18. So there was 16. There were 6 females and 10 males. And of course, when she's like, I said, well, think about your friend and let's muscle test you. And so we'll clear it first in Italian. Okay. So I'm just thinking about this lady. I wrote about it in my book. Okay. I'm just thinking about the lady. Look what happens. So I said, well, think about your friend. She's like, she's not my friend. She's a stinky C, useless B. And you know, the guys are so smart. They're sitting there like this. Not looking, not moving or anything. And the other lady's like, girl, I know what you mean. I got one of those. She's a stinky C too, and a hoe, and you know, all that. What happened? Ooh. We went back and forth 7 times. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, oh Jesus, oh my God, oh my God. And I said, oh good, you're putting your fingers on your forehead. She's like, oh my God, Miss Gary, are you telling me that by me snarking on that woman, I'm doing myself ugly? I'm like, let's see. What do you think? She's like, oh my God, push on my other arm. So push on my other arm. She's like, do that thing with the hand. Okay. I said, what are you thinking now? Oh, she's like, oh my God, I've been doing myself ugly. And then she's like, I can't believe I'm allowing somebody else to affect me like that. It's like, ding, 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 ding. Right? She goes, wait a minute, what about my mama? I said, now what are we going to do about the mama? She's like, okay, I got it. I got it. She's like, you know what's scary? She says, I hate to admit I'm wrong. But she says, I'm going to do my best. I ain't snarking on anybody. Because she says, I'm doing myself ugly and then I'm weakening myself. She's like, then it's even worse. I got arrested. I got to go to court. I got to come to your class and all this stuff and everything. And she's like, I'm never letting that happen again. Let me see. Push on my arm. Push on my other arm. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Because our thoughts are so powerful. What you think, what you say, what you feel, and what you do. That happens all inside of us, just like nanoseconds. Just like that. I could be going, traffic getting over here. Ugh. Or I could be thinking, oh my God, I'm going to meet a whole bunch of great people at uni. This is a great church. I love this place. I love this building. Been here for a bunch of concerts and all kinds of cool stuff. Linda and team's book signing and everything. Right? But then if I start thinking about, oh, traffic and all the stuff. See how quickly that affects us? So here's what I want you to think about. This is another piece. And this is a tool that you could use. So remember this one, team? Push up. Push up. Wow, isn't it strong?
Yeah.
It's even stronger than before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know why? Because what I did was went like this.
Yeah.
In your weekend.
Right.
So I want you to repeat after me, just you. God, be a part of everything I think, say, feel, and do. Push up. Isn't that amazing how strong that is? Let's check the other one. I know. Where's the kids for push up? Isn't that amazing? So team, okay, push up.
Guys.
Now just think the phrase. Do you remember?
God be a part of everything I
think, say, feel, and do. Push up. Push up. Isn't that amazing? And that is something that, like, you could relax. Anytime you could use this. So here's the thing. What if she felt that she's going to work and she's got to deal with these individuals, right? The idiots. What happens? And the idiots on the metro and on the beltway and all that, right? Now, what happens if she says, well, wait a minute, Gary said that I zip myself up. There's another thing you could do like this where you clockwise. So you go, yeah, like this. And then it makes you strong, push up like that. So these things work. Now, what happens if you're on the metro and somebody snarks you, like, oh, I can't believe that idiot on the metro. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm strong now. It's like, oh, stupid person in the car. Oh, wait. Oh, idiot boss. Oh my goodness. What's going to happen? People are going to go, what's the matter? Like some freak or idiot or what? What's going on? Right? Now, you don't have to, because why?
You can do that thing. You can do that statement.
So think about the statement. Got it? Oh, isn't that amazing? So it's available for every single one of you. God be a part of everything I think, say, feel, and do. So let's give it a shout a big hand. She's great. With muscle testing, we could show ourselves how powerful our thoughts, what we think, what we say, what we feel, and what we do, how it affects us. And that is critical. We could change ourselves like that. Now, can it change from moment to moment? Yeah, absolutely it does. You know, when you're on a disaster or when you're working on tough stuff at work, whatever you do, you know, whatever your job is, you got issues sometimes, right? Oh, what happens? You're weak. Yeah. So what do? Got to be a part of everything I think, say, feel, and do. Strong. This one I call lobby claw because my buddy, the lobster here, this is Rock Lobster. And playing with my lobster, I was thinking about that because here's the claw, you know, and so what can you do? When I do big groups, when there's, you know, several hundred people in the back, if I don't have somebody to demonstrate with me until I show them, I hold up like this, lobby claw strong, and then I just squeeze them like that. Feel that? It's strong? So yes, feel that? Everybody feel that? Yes. Okay, and then no. Feel no. Feel, yeah. Or think about this. And then squeeze. Feel how that is? And then, whew, wow, you're a powerful group. And then what do? We think, God be a part of everything I think, say, feel, and do. There it is. So see, by doing that, you're able to take care of yourself, help somebody else. And it works right away. The other part is the fingers on the forehead. And that is so simple. You know, I always said that if, depending upon, because I saw it during 9/11 in New York at the Family Assistance Center and all these places that I went to around. And then I used it on disasters from pre-Y2K. Before, how many know Y2K? Okay. Yeah, I spent New Year's Eve in Arizona in a basement bunker in an ops center, right? You know, yeah, okay. So 18 months before that, us, Red Cross, FEMA, Sheriff's Office, law enforcement agencies, public safety, public health, Arizona Public Service, Southwest Gas, all the utilities and everything, we would go and speak to groups, sometimes thousands of people in these big mega churches. One time there was like 6,000 people in this audience. And so we're talking to them about these things. What are people thinking? They're scared, right? They feel fear. And so what I realized is when I could, I would talk to people about the fact that, hey, you know what? Everybody gets scared. Me too. You can put your fingers on your forehead and play it through. And you know what? It'll help you to get calm. Doesn't mean it's going to fix the problem, the car crash or the operation or whatever's going to happen. However, if you're calm and stable to a homeostasis, not high, not low, but right here, does that help you? Yeah, it does. And so by simply thinking that God be a part of everything I think, say, feel, and do, putting the fingers on the forehead and playing all the negative, upset stuff going through, it helps release it. And it's like a Pez candy machine. You remember little Pez candy? I even have a Yoda Pez somewhere. You know, where you put the candy in there and then you pop the thing and you eat the candy. I love those. I still like that. You know, haven't seen it in years, but you know, the candy pops up. Well, that's the way emotions and feelings are. They pop up, right? You clear one out, there's another one. Whew. Okay, right? Or a situation or whatever. So you could use that. And what's so simple, and I tell people, this is something natural. I saw people do it all the time in the movies. Have you seen people in the movies go, oh God, oh Jesus, oh. How many of you have seen that? Raise your hand if you've seen that. How many have seen that on somebody in person? Yeah, right, yeah, right, yeah, exactly. I saw it lots of times. Single family home fire, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes. They're like, oh my God. You know, I know the feeling. June 21st in 1972, I was 10 years old. F2 tornado. I didn't find this out until I was way into emergency management later in my life, that it was an F2 tornado that hit Paradise Valley, Arizona. Took 3/4 of our house with us inside of it. That's probably why I became a disaster manager. And so I know what it's like to bam, and it's so, whoo, right? And so am I able to use this stuff to help me from stuff when I was a kid? Oh, you bet. The bullies and stuff like that? Oh, absolutely. You know, here I was 20-something, 30 years old, you know, oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. So used it during Y2K, used it during 9/11, and then Katrina. You know, I was on the ground September through November with my team, the safety and security team. 600 of my team members were out there. And so, you know, I got to work with them, and they're like, in New York during 9/11, they would call me the happy trainer. I didn't even know that. And they're like, well, somebody said to talk to you. And I'm like, really? Why? And they said, well, you're the happy trainer and you do something, and how are you staying happy? Oh, I said, what did they tell you? And they said, I think it was fingers on the forehead or something like that. I said, yeah, oh yeah. And they're like, oh really? I thought they were kidding. But everybody sees you're smiling and everything. I said, well, who says that I'm the happy trainer? They go, all these people. It's like, huh, yeah. So I shared it with police, fire, OSHA, hazmat, FEMA, all kinds of folks. And I talked to them about it. Hey, you can muscle test just like this. You know, you could muscle test just like this. Strong, weak, strong, weak. You know, lots of different ways. You could stand. You could stand like this. Strong, weak. Positive thought, negative thought. Oh, here, neutral. We could do this. Whoa. See how strong you guys are? Look at that. You're moving me around. Okay. Whoa. So you see, you could do muscle testing a whole bunch of different ways. Somebody that's disabled, you could use their leg. You could surrogate test for them or proxy test for them. You know, put your hand on them with their permission, connect. You could do that. These are simple things. The other piece that I'll share with you is called the energetic action process. And that is simply about doing some hand clapping, hand drumming, and processing. So one of the things that I would do with the anger management folks, I would say, are you happy or miserable? And they're like, I'm happy. It's like, and they're like, are you going to test my arm? I said, everybody in the room. And so I go around and muscle test them. So I'd like you to bring up your lobby claw fingers. And so we're going to clear. So we're positive. God be a part of everything I think safe will do. So squeeze. Are y'all strong? So say, I'm happy. Now squeeze. Does it go down? Now think about it. Just say, I am happy. Feel inside of you and say, I'm happy. Is it strong? May I squeeze yours real quick? Hold it out there. Say, I'm happy. Okay? Now, no, and I'll tell you what. Say, I'm miserable. You know? See, we know it. I'm happy.
I'm happy.
I'm miserable.
I'm miserable.
Listen, my voice. Read author. I'm happy. I'm miserable.
I'm miserable.
Squeeze. I mean, push up hard. Let's say, I'm happy.
I'm happy.
I'm miserable.
I'm miserable.
Do you know why that is? I'll tell you why that is. Because they're miserable people. Wrong answer. You know what it is? Because these are three of the happiest, positive people. And she's a doctor, counselor who helps people with this stuff, you know, that I know. I'll tell you why that is. Do you think something happened when they were a kid? That something that, oh my God, I lost my favorite tiger. I actually did. I lost the original big Tig tiger in the tornado. You know, it's gone. That bothered me for decades. And a little owl, Hoot the owl, yeah, made out of felt. That bothered me for years. What do you think would happen with my arm if we go back, right? But here I'm, big, strong guy who's doing all this stuff. You know, think about lost a big Tig. And then thinking about the loss of him made me feel what? Miserable, right? Yes, that's what happens. So what we do is we could clear that out. So is everybody willing to participate? You can participate right from your seat. Okay, so it's just like hand clapping, hand drumming, you know? So I want you to repeat after me. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I'm miserable. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I'm miserable. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I'm miserable. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I refuse to do the things necessary to be happy. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I refuse to do the things necessary to be happy. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I refuse to do the things necessary to be happy. Last one, I deeply love and accept myself, even if I have hidden or unknown issues with being miserable. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I've hidden or unknown issues with being miserable. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I've hidden or unknown issues with being miserable. Okay. So I am miserable.
I am miserable.
Push up hard. Wow, look at that. Say, I am happy.
I am happy.
Feel the difference? That's huge. Look at it. I am miserable.
I am miserable.
Push up hard. Oh, I am happy.
I am happy.
I am miserable.
I am miserable.
I am happy.
I am happy.
I am miserable.
I am miserable.
I am happy.
I am happy.
And for those of you in the Zoom world, what was happening is they were going like this. In the original, I am happy, weak. I'm miserable, strong. And now that's totally reversed. I'm happy, strong. I'm miserable, weak. And that's what we want to do. And the thing is, you could go through and find, there's a whole list. Like in my book, I have called the awful, distressing stuff list. It really, yeah, Scott knows because he's read it, you know. And so the thing is, it's from hundreds of, well, from thousands of clients, but so many of them would find something in there and realize that weakened them. And so sometimes you don't even know what you don't know. And so I want you to think about this. I'll tell this one last story before I shift gears. But this, I got a call from a lady in DC, and she said, I looked you up on LinkedIn, and I understand that you did safety, security, WMDT, and you got security clearance and stuff like that and everything. And I said, yes, I don't do that work anymore. She goes, I know. But she says, I'm a Fed and I work with an agency. And I saw Dr. Brad's emotion code on the internet, and you're a practitioner and I want to know if you could work with me. I said, sure. And she said, where do you go? I said, I'm mobile. I could come to your house and apartment. She's like, that would be great. So we work on it, clear out some trapped emotions, stuff like that. And so I'm getting that I'm good at muscle testing and I'm great at guessing on stuff. It's like, is it this? Is it this? No, nothing. You know, I said, I don't know. I have no idea what it is. And in the old days, this was in 2014. So it was way before this book, because this book was published in 20. So I said, okay, so the list kind of looks like this. You know, there's lists of stuff in there. And I said, this is a prototype book that's spiral bound that I just got. They made 4 of them so I could go through and look at it. Why don't you look and see if there's something that resonates with you? And she's like, okay. I said, because we got more time. So, you know, so she's, oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Oh my effing God. And it's like, what? And she goes, that's it. And the next one. And I said, oh, okay, what is it? She goes, I can't say. I thought she was kidding. So I said, no, seriously, what is it? She goes, no, seriously, I can't. I'm like, oh, the professional Gary. Okay, no worries. Put your finger on that. Let's muscle test. The next one, go to the first one. This is it. Next one, that's it. She's like, oh my God. Let me give you a little bit about, so you have an idea who she is. She's 6'1", a decent high-ranking black belt in martial arts. She's a Fed, does an ops job, tough as nails, okay? So this is not some person who's, whatever. And so I said, okay, slide it over to me and let me see. And I look at it and what it was, and I'll always remember, I don't remember her name, but I'll always remember the situation. And it was, you are a dirty, bad girl. That was the first one. The second one is, you'll probably end up pregnant. She's like, you know, Miss Guerra, she said, I knew there's something that's been affecting me my entire life. She's like, check my arm, check my other arm. Oh my God, let's clear that. So when we go to do it, I deeply love and accept myself. She could hardly even say it. She's like, I deeply love and accept myself, even if I'm a pretty bad girl. I deeply love and accept myself, even if I'm a pretty bad. By the end of it, she's like, I deeply love and accept myself, even if I've hidden or unknown issues of being a dirty bad girl. I'm like, whoa. She's like, push on my arm. Okay, think I'm a dirty bad girl. Rock solid. So I said, go ahead and say, I'm a dirty bad girl. Rock solid strong. She's like, I said, okay, let's move back in time. I didn't do that with you, but we can move back in time before we clear, and let's feel it. The energy goes way down. I said, let's come back to now strong. So we do the same thing with, you'll probably end up pregnant. She's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. She's like, oh my God, push on my arm, push on my arm. She's like, oh my God, oh my God. She's like, oh my God. She says, you have no idea how important this was. I said, I believe you. And she says, I got to talk. I'm like, okay. She goes, I'll pay extra for more time. I said, no, we got time. Go ahead. And she's like, oh my God. She goes, I know exactly when this happened. She said, this has affected me my entire life, all through school, college, my career, even in the dojo and stuff like that. She says, I'll be like, ah. And then something may happen and weep. She said that she was 5, maybe 6. And she says, I was in the bathroom and she says, I'm a kid. I was touching myself and it felt good and I'm giggling. And she says, my mom burst open the door and said, get your fingers out of your vagina. You're a dirty bad girl. You'll probably end up pregnant. The rage that came out of this woman who's 36, I think, was like, whew. She's like, oh my God, push on my arm. She's like, I'm free. She's like, oh my God. She says, you have no idea. This has haunted me my entire life. My entire life. It's like, wow. Isn't that mind-blowing? So you never know. And she says, you know what? She says, you know what I can't believe? And I said, you're not the only one. She goes, yes. She says, oh my God, here it is in black and white in your book. She says, you may not remember me. She says, you may not remember her. But she says, maybe you'll remember this situation. She says, thank God for her, because she helped free me from 30 years of hell that I've lived. Something so simple. Is that a way to lift people up? You bet it is. It's amazing. She looked like a different person when she was done. She was like, oh my God. She says, I want to keep going up the GS scale. I want to become a 15. I want to be able to do the stuff and be leadership, a chief and stuff like that. And she says, I finally feel like, huh! It's like, wow, isn't that something? Why don't you think about that? You all have been so wonderful. What I want to do is I want to do a toning to clear out anything. Now, I've done this at churches from here to Hawaii, all over the place. And what I do is a little drumming and toning. And so we're going to make a completely safe circle. And so I'm usually not good at telling people this, but I will tell you. So we're going to surround us all with white light. And this goes for all of you on the Zoom. So any of you on the Zoom, because energy goes all over. I've done this shamanic work and toning and all this for people around the world in groups from as small as 1 to hundreds and hundreds of people, and around the world via Zoom and phone, and Japan, England, Switzerland, Brazil, just all over the place, Russia, it just kind of depends. So the thing is, energy travels, right? Energy works. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about anything that's negative, anything that's been bothering you. If people, because there's reverence here, and I'm sure on the Zoom there's probably reverence and people that have been asked people to pray for them. So I want you to bring the folks into the group, and you're recording this, right? So any of the recordings, the energy is going to be infused into this. So the clearing will be the same for you, whether it's now or 100 years from now. Energy sticks around and stays with us. And so what I want you to do is to be able to bring your loved ones, your family members, whoever has asked you, colleagues, clients, work, whoever, if they're suffering, they ask for prayers and blessings, please bring them in to the circle. And what you're going to do is you're going to help hold space. So if you would like to tone, or if you would like to bring in energies, feel free, because like I said, we've got the power animals here, the spirits, the energies. I've got 2 little battery powered candles, because we can't light the sage and things inside the sanctuary, but just feel the energy. And we're going to do some toning and bringing through. Hold on a second. You think I've been talking a lot or something? And so what I'd like you to do is to be able to get your energies in, and we're going to bring through the tones. So like I said, we're surrounded by white light, violet flame, gold and silver light, emerald green light, rainbow light, a healing, abundance, prosperity, protection around all of us. So if something wants to leave, it could go to the upper world, lower world, and be dissipated without jumping on anybody or getting on furniture or stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that. So feel free to do that. Bring through family, whoever. And so remember, it's all energy. So we're on a timeline. I will tell you, especially if you can't see me, if you're only listening to this, is that the sounds in the beginning will sound painful. I could feel the energy already, because we're dealing with all kinds of stuff. We're in the DC metro area here, so we deal with politics, we deal with COVID, we deal with life issues, we deal with all kinds of stuff here. Beltway traffic, like I talked about. So think about that. Anything that you would like to bring through, please bring through for all your friends and everybody. And then you'll see when the energy shifts, then we'll go ahead and you'll know the energy's changed, and then I'll let you know when it's done. Okay? Any questions before we start? Anything? Okay, I'm sorry, Zoom folks. I can't look at the screen right now, so we're just going to bring the energy through. So just breathe, connect with your spirits, your God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whoever's your highest power. If you're agnostic, atheist, whatever, the highest you, the highest personal power. So it works for everybody. Okay? Take some deep breaths, please. Come back into the room with all of us. Wow, thank you all very much. That was so powerful. How many of you could feel the energies of releasing go through? Yeah. How about feeling the good energies coming back in? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, because it's the power of the group, the circle. Talk about raising us all up together, helping. You know, I could do what I could do. However, when there's 2 or 3 or more gathered together, here we are. It's really wild. And the D.I.Y, I don't know if you noticed it, the 7 trumpet blowings. You know, if you've studied the Bible, read a Bible, seen a Bible on TV, there's a story in there about the walls of Jericho coming down. I have some friends that are shofar carriers. And I'll tell you what, I had a ram's horn blown on me, mostly the little ones. But this one carrier, he's like a senior guy. I think he's in his late 80s. But he blew that giant ram's horn on me. And look, I'm getting chills. I could still feel it, the energy going through when I think about it to this day. And that was years ago. But when they went around the walls 7 times, blew the ram's horn trumpets, and boom, all of it came tumbling down. So that's just like with dissipating all of that negative energy. Remember, God be a part of everything we think, say, feel, and do. One last thing. So the group that's here, and it's interesting because it's 3:32. So we're going to be doing this when it's 3:33. There's a little thing that I make. It's called the Heart Dollar, Gratitude and Abundance Blessing. And so I'm sorry you folks on Zoom won't get one made by me, but I'll have them put the information. I have a Facebook page. It's called the Heart Dollar Gratitude and Abundance Blessing Circle. And you could get videos that I've made. People make them and they share them all over the world. But this is a heart dollar and it's a real dollar. How many people have one already? If you do, you're going to get another one. But, there's a few of you that have it. So don't worry. So it's a real dollar. And when I meet nice people of service, I like to share it. And it's a real dollar. And I tell the folks, it's made for you with love, light, peace, power, and blessing for health, wealth, abundance, prosperity, and perfect self-expression. So this is the heart dollar. And I'll show you. This is the original one that the lady who taught me in 2002, this is the one she made for me. And I still have it. As you can see, it's really flat, right? But I still keep it. And then 10 years ago, I made it for a young lady at a pizza place who was getting ready to go to college. And she saw me and she's like, Gary, I'm leaving for college. I don't have my ticket book wallet anymore. But she says, look, I put it in my phone. And it's like, oh, cool. And so anyway, so in the old days, the Blackberries didn't have a clear back, but I'm still old school. I still love Blackberry and Android. But Blackberry does have a clear back. So now it's on there. Several thousand people have them in their phone and they literally see each other around the world. And so one of my friends was flying through London Heathrow Airport and he saw a phone sitting on a table in a cafe. And he goes, hey, that's a heart dollar. And the people look at him and go, how do you know? And he whips out his phone. And they're like, wow. And he goes, where did you get it? And they said, this long-haired Japanese guy with a hat in DC. And he goes, Gary, Niki? And they're like, yeah, where did you get it? He said, in Las Vegas at an event. So you never know where they're going to meet. But the lady that's the co-administrator on the Facebook group, she got the video that I gave out in 2019 when I was on a road trip. I have a Land Rover, I call it the Shamanic Land Rover. And Rovi and I went down to Florida and made the loop. So all the places that my teams were working during the 4 Florida hurricanes in 2004, I got to see all those places. And so anyway, I saw one of my teachers who's a reverend. She made over 500 heart dollars, and given them out. And I didn't even know that. And so those are blessings that I got and a ton of people got and didn't even know it. Well, this other lady in West Virginia, she's a science teacher. She got the video that I sent to her in February of 2019, showed it to the kids at school. And they're like, you know that long hair guy with a hat? And it's like, yeah, that's my friend. He made the heart dollar. And the one kid, he goes, I could do that. And he's like, play it back. So she played the video back through. It's big like this on the screen. Play it back through 3 times. The kid made it just like that. And she's like, wow, do it again. And he's like, okay, play it through. This time he's doing it. They made over 500 before COVID. 500. So anyway, last night I made 40 of these. Well, I was doing some meditating and things like that. And so those of you that are here, I'd like to share it with you. So if you hold out your left hand, I'd like to give this to you and I'll do the blessings. Well, no, you're going to start right here. It is pretty, isn't it? Beautiful. And it's interesting, $1 bills are, I'll give you a little bit of trivia. $1 bills are numbered 1 through 12. Come around.
If anybody would like to connect with Gary, he doesn't have business cards, he asked that we put your name and contact information on the sheet, and then we'll collect them at the end, so when you would like them to present them.
Yeah, I'm in the process of rebranding as the DIY Zen guy, so I haven't updated cards and things, so I love 3x5 cards, so it still works. Old school works, right? And I even talk about Rolodex every once in a while, and people, I can always tell what group I'm talking to. You know, in my anger management class, one of the things I tell them, there's two things I never give advice on. One, I'm 59, don't have kids, not going to have kids. So I never give kid advice. And all the parents laugh. You know, my 30-year-old nephews, they're in their 30s now. I'll bet they're glad that Uncle G wasn't given raising advice, right? And then as of May, I'll be divorced 36 years next year. So I never give relationship advice. So everybody laughs on that. But I talk about being angry SOB. And I said, maybe you met me or somebody like me, you know. And then at the end of the class, they said, you know, Miss Garrett, you don't seem angry. It's like, well, I've been working on myself for 35 years. So anyway, I'd like to do the blessing for all of you. So if you would hold your dollar and put it in your hands. I like to tone, so I'm going to bring through some tones for it. So this is for all of us and all the people that have had it. So, and this is, I'll do it for you the way I did it with loose-linked Tibetan monks. That's one of the videos that's on the YouTube. And so we're all holding them in our hands. This blessing is made for you with love, light, peace, power, and blessing for health, wealth, abundance, prosperity, and perfect self-expression. Thank you so much. It has been an honor to be here with all of you today. Love you. Bless you.